But on that, on that notion of when do you support, when do you challenge, one of the concepts that we used at Chelsea was mental health versus mental strength.
Okay.
And what we were saying is that mental strength is a choice. And mental strength is things like confidence, focus, motivation. And what I say to people when I tell them about it is, right now, you are using mental strength because you are focused, you're motivated, and you're confident that what you're doing is going to work. And mental strength is a choice that right now, you are choosing to do what you're doing. And people who one day listen to this podcast will be choosing to pay attention, choosing to put the effort in, and so on. And that's mental strength. The other side of it is mental health. And mental health is not a choice. Mental health is a consequence. Mental health is a consequence of being in the right environment, having access to the right relationships and the right resources. And for me, that's a really key idea, is that we choose mental strength, but we don't choose mental health. Now, there's a relationship between the two, because it's a lot easier to be mentally strong when you're mentally healthy. Because mental strength really is about the ability to maintain perspective. And it's a lot easier to have perspective when you have mental health, because that implies that you have good resources. So that's the relationship. That's how mental health feeds mental strength. But mental strength also feeds mental health, because I sometimes have to choose an environment that will support my mental health. So that's what we see as the cycle of mental health and mental strength. They're different, but they're interdependent.
Yeah, I love that sort of a mental health, mental strength loop. And I think even then, I think of people who are lost. I think there's a lot of people in the world that are lost, and even young athletes that might be lost in not knowing which foot to take or which step to take next.
Yeah.
And I think because you could argue, well, okay, well, which one do I need to focus on first to get the other? Which one do I need to be mentally, I feel anxious, depressed, worried, stressed, nervous? Do I need to dial up mental strength and force myself into making a tougher choice and a stronger choice? Or do I actually need to take a moment and actually address my mental health? Now, this is where I would potentially say, from experience as well, is that sometimes, more often, it is about dialing up a bit more mental strength, making those choices, choosing the decisions that you want to make, because in the act of doing that yourself, you feel better about yourself, even if the outcome isn't great, even if it's led to something that hasn't gone your way. You've at least taken the autonomous decision to make the decision to better yourself. And just in the process of doing that, you can be proud of yourself for taking that step.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we like, if you go and walk in any school right now, in any school in the UK, and I've recently been back to my own school, and the teachers over there are not only having to teach, but they're having to be mental health practitioners way above and beyond what they are asked to do on the job description.
Right.
And there are kids over there that are just highly anxious and are having to be chaperoned from class to class by teachers. Now, again, we could easily go, well, back in my day or back when I was at school.
Yeah.
But there is a point where that teacher is unable to, or not willing to, or the student is not willing to say, okay, this is a tough situation. Just for me to go through this, get from this class to this class over here, through the halls, I feel anxious. And at the moment, there's much more of I need you to help me. I need you to, I can't do this situation, rather than actually going, this is a tough situation, and in me finding a way to get from A to B, I feel better about myself. I've gone through something that's challenging. And that's where the support of a teacher in this example would be, okay, how do you want to get from A to B? I'm not going to go with you. I'm going to step back and allow you to do this. How are we going to get you from A to B? And when you're at B, I'll be there to support you, to say, well done, great job, and actually see how you got on. But know that it is going to be challenging. That period, it is going to be from A to B. It's going to be hard. It's going to be challenging. It's not going to be easy. But God, you're going to be better off by the time you get there. You're going to be so much stronger. You're going to be way better. And you're going to feel better about yourself when you're there as well. Your mental health is going to be better because by default, you're taking your life into your own hands, essentially. And I think that's where the support has allowed some young people to now step back and go, well, how are you going to help me, rather than how can I help myself? And I think that in helping yourself, that is mental strength. Hey, if you've enjoyed that video, then you can click right here to watch the full unedited version of that episode. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel by clicking the button below. I'll see you soon.